Alright guys, so I did a video on the Turo rental experience in Texas when I rented that Mustang, and I had to be a little bit reserved, trying to be a nice guy, but I shot other footage just in case I wanted to give my real thoughts. Now I didn't want to blow up her spot, but the car that I rented, I was totally like deceived by. And when I say that, it wasn't 1,000 horsepower. And I had to sign something, as I said, that said I wouldn't go over 100 miles an hour, I wouldn't drive it too hard. And I signed all that, and I didn't drive over 100 miles an hour. I was actually very cognizant of what I did. And I was trying to, when I was at LG, I wanted to dyno it, because there was no effing way that that car was anywhere near 1,000 horsepower. If it made, even if you check out Roush's website, maybe 550, I'd be surprised if it was anything over 550 wheel horsepower. But that's a very big difference than 1,000 horsepower, and just saying it's 1,000 horsepower. Now, if you say something's 1,000 horsepower, it's one thing, you know, you're talking. But she sent me two dyno sheets, one, and I think they're from completely different cars. The graphs are completely different. One was for like 1,000 horsepower, the other one was like 1,200 wheel horsepower. And I'll tell you what, there's no freaking way that that car was anywhere near that. First gear. Far from 1,000. And anyway, so after the rental, I guess she saw the video, or somebody forwarded the video. And then she's like, oh, you exceeded this, and you drove it too hard, and blah, 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 and I'm going to charge you. And now I learned, running the rental game, that you can't just charge somebody unless they damage the car. Now, I've got experience, because there was a guy, I forget his name, but he did a video renting our Porsche convertible, and it was a 911 turbo, 996 turbo cab. And I remember he rented it under his girlfriend's name, went out, beat the balls off of this car. I'm talking about like drifting through parking lots, blew out the rear tires. She calls up, she's like, oh, we got a flat and I replaced the rear tires. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'll just give you, I'll send you another set of rear tires, or I'll reimburse you for the set of rear tires, which they weren't matching anyway, so I had to throw them away. But I reimbursed her for the rear tires because I thought she got a flat, gave her an extra day in the car. Next thing you know, a couple months later, I see this video, and her boyfriend, who rented the car under her name, was beating the shit out of this car. It was a stock 996, and in our contract we had an abuse fee. But literally, like, the rollover bars popped out, drifting in a parking lot, because it thought the car was going to flip. So he had to go to a dealership and have the rollover bars and the convertible top reset. I mean, really, really, really beating the snot out of the car. I forget the name of the video. It was some... trying to be a Jeremy Clarkson, like, I'm going to talk in a British accent even though I'm from Long Island. It was whatever, we'll leave that out of it. But I tried to go after her, and ultimately the court, or whoever the deciding party was, said that I have to be able to establish that there was damage done to the vehicle. Resetting the rollover bars, banging off the rev limiter doesn't establish that there was damage done, because there's no proof of damage. You can't just say the engine is worn more because of the way this guy drove. So when this girl had me sign something, I'm like, look, I'll sign whatever you want, but saying if I static rev the car that you're gonna charge me $500+ is a complete bluff. It's never gonna stand up in a court of law. So anyway, after the rental, she sent me this message, oh, I can't believe you abused the car. I thought you were gonna treat it so nice. I didn't abuse the car. And I'm gonna charge you. She never charged me. It's now a couple of months later. So I figured I'd drop this video now and say that I got totally duped when I rented a 1,200 horsepower car on Turo, because you know what? It wasn't 1,200 horsepower. I didn't get it on a dyno, but I will bet you every penny I will make in the rest of my life that that car was nowhere near 1,200 horsepower, and that she was full of shit. The dyno graphs she sent me were full of shit. It's unfortunate. Sweet person, but standard car stuff. You know, when you got the Lambo Mustang guy, or he puts a Type R sticker on the back and tells you how badass his car is. Yep. Anyway, there's your story. I wanted to do a follow-up. I wanted to actually mention this in the original video, but I didn't see a purpose. But after she went like I'm gonna charge you, I was like, oh, come on. And then that's when I didn't really mind. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Quick little story as to what you should be aware of when you get duped by something like that. I could go after Turo and say the car wasn't as described, but ultimately at the end of the day, who cares? A couple $100 bucks. See you later.